Good morning, everybody. How are we doing on this fine Wednesday? What a day in sports we have tonight. We have the game one of the NBA Finals, as well as we are all still recovering from probably one of the most unexpected trades of all time and one of the most expected trades of all time that happened on Monday, June 1st. It is Wednesday, June 3rd, 6:03 a.m. Good morning, everybody. I am your host, Max Gallegos, here with another sports rant, getting your day started with some absolute cinema and some yapping about sports in the world today. I would like to. I'm very new to this whole streaming thing. We are live currently on Twitch. My computer is crashing out at me if I try and multi-stream. That's what I tried to do yesterday, and it did not quite pan out for me. So, we are just going to be streaming on Twitch for the time being. However, yapping away, I didn't even realize my mic was not on, so I was sitting there yapping for about 3.5 hours yesterday to nobody, to silence, to an empty stream, to nothing. And so today we decided we were going to lock in and get things straightened up, making sure everything's all under control, understanding what we gotta do. So yeah, we're locked. We are locked in right now. Super locked in right now. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get chat up in the moment. Review, overview, research, achievements, discovery, community, content. Uno momento, por favor. Stream together. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, you know what? What an incredible day in sports the Monday was. The NFL, it shows why the NFL is king. Because we just had probably one of the best series in my lifetime in NBA history of recent memory with the Spurs and the Thunder, and it was vastly overshadowed by one of the biggest NFL trades I've ever seen, and that is, of course, Myles Garrett going to the Los Angeles Rams. And I said yesterday that, and I will stick to this, is if the Rams do not make the Super Bowl at a bare minimum, this trade is a failure. They have to at least make the Super Bowl. Do you understand me, folks? They have to make the Super Bowl. Otherwise, what is the point of this? This is like KD to the Warriors. It is like LeBron to the Heat. It is that level of trade that you need to win. Like, maybe not win a Super Bowl, but at least be in the Super Bowl, like, playing for it. Because you're going to be paying him too much money, and he will be too good. He is too good of a player to not have some sort of just grab my chat here. Hold on. Chat. Type in chat. There we go. Awesome. Okay, cool. He is too good of a player to not. Their team is too good now, guys. They have, for the first time in NFL history, folks, first time in NFL history, a team is going into the season with the reigning MVP and the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. And mind you, that Defensive Player of the Year is coming off of the sack record. He has the sack record now, folks. It is absolutely insane. I know it's very interesting because there was a lot of bubbling and leading up to the A.J. Brown trade, which we saw happen with the New England Patriots and the Eagles. There was a lot of hubbub, and that kind of was like the worst kept secret ever, right? That he was going to be traded to the Patriots. However, it feels like this Myles Garrett trade just came out of the blue, out of the clear blue sky. We knew that Myles Garrett has not always been the best of chums with the Cleveland Browns, to put it lightly. And it is remarkable to see that, like, whenever there was the trade rumors last year, do you remember that, guys? Do you remember that when there were like trade rumors last year, and it was like, oh yeah, so we got trade rumors. Myles Garrett is going blah blah blah, and then he got a big ass contract. That is kind of a. It's kind of what went down. But now this one like kind of sneaks up you like a thief in the night, grabs you by the buttocks. You're like, wait, what? It's just like June 1st, and you're like, he's going to the Rams? What? That is what I'm saying. Him going to it's like I said, if they do not make the Super Bowl, bare minimum, make the Super Bowl, this trade will be a failure because it is so high profile, because it makes their team so overpowered. Like, look at what they have done this offseason. They have the reigning MVP. They have the runner-up for the Offensive Player of the Year in Puka Nacua. They, I believe, had the receiving touchdowns leader in Devontae Adams. They add Trent McDuffie, a premier corner, which really fills their hole that they had last year. And now they add Myles Garrett, the best defensive player in the league, who broke the sack record on the Browns, who never had a lead to begin with. He was playing against the run 90% of his snaps. And now there's this rumor. About Aaron Donald coming out of retirement. at the ripe age of 35, coming out of retirement, he's still in immaculate shape. Guys, do you understand? I keep hearing this rumor around social media, and I don't think people have grasped the fact of what Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald, even Aaron Donald coming out of retirement, would mean for the state of humanity, let alone football. I feel like we would have to get the government involved. That is too much power. Folks, that right there, I can't even put words to it. Could you imagine these two men were dominating their fields, their respective fields, getting doubled and triple teamed, and you cannot double and triple team two guys at the same time. People would be getting hurt. Think about the children. There are children watching NFL games, and if Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett are on the same team, people will get hurt. No, people will die. Legitimately, I think there would be quarterbacks who would feign injury, illness, emergency, because they would fear for their lives. There would be offensive coordinators checking into mental facilities. It would be unfair. You would have teams forfeiting. And this is not an exaggeration, folks. I know I'm embellishing it, but good googly moogly, do you remember how dominant Aaron Donald was? And he is still in an immaculate shape. Can you imagine what that man would do on an NFL roster today, just let alone on the same line as Myles Garrett? Your favorite quarterback would be leaving the game in a stretcher. Greatly concerned, folks. The A.J. Brown trade. We saw A.J. Brown at a Patriots practice. On the flip side, the other massive trade for in the NFL. I'm going to switch over that layout. The other massive trade in the NFL, we see A.J. Brown catching passes from Drake May at Patriots OTAs. We are excited, folks. As a Patriots fan, we are excited. A.J. Brown seems ecstatic. Absolutely ecstatic to be playing with the Patriots. It is absolutely insane. Worst kept secret, though. Absolutely worst kept secret of the offseason was this. But I'm pumped. I'm excited. For A.J. Brown specifically, I know Colin Cowherd mentioned this. I'm going to riff off of him a little bit here. This is the best quarterback that he'll ever have. He's ever had. From throwing the football standpoint, absolutely. This is the first time that he has an offense that isn't predicated around the run. We forget that. A.J. Brown has had to play on offenses spear-pointed by Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, who are, yes, great, but it doesn't It isn't advantageous to his success. And I believe that is why he was so incredibly frustrated with the Philadelphia Eagles. Is because because he is a very talented football player. And it feels like his talents are diminished a little bit. This is great for the New England Patriots, who upgraded their wide receiver room. It was much improved with the addition of Josh McDaniels as offensive coordinator. We saw that last season with Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, Demario Douglas. These guys had like a breakout season where they were just played so much better. And that can be also attributed to Drake May as well, just improving as a quarterback. But it feels like they've taken a step up. They added Romeo Doubs, now A.J. Brown. And things are starting to look up and up for the Pats. It will change the way that the defenses prepare for him, because you have to account for A.J. Brown on every single play. And then that opens up Hunter Henry. It opens up Ramondre Stevenson. It opens up Travion Henderson. It opens up people. Like, it opens up the offense. People, you can start. You can start. Pulling from that, right? You can start with it. Like there is a focal point of the offense that somebody has to prepare for, and you always have to know where A.J. Brown is on the field 24/7, right? Anyway, it's great for the Patriots, but you know what? I want to look at something really fast. So we're gonna go over here. I want to talk about this other big trade. I want to see. I'm gonna look at the Rams schedule. We're gonna look at the Rams schedule, the 2026 schedule for the Los Angeles Rams. Alrighty, they will be starting off the season in Melbourne, Australia, with the 49ers, with Myles Garrett. This is a win. That's a pretty fairly easy win right there. At home against the Giants, win. At the Broncos, I mean, they could possibly lose, but are they going to be? Are they going to be not? Are they not going to be favored? Sure, it's a possibility they lose, but it's September. I think they're favored. The Eagles, another one where it's like they got a rough 3-game stretch here with the Eagles, with the Broncos, Eagles, Bills. But are they going to be the underdog in any of those games? Legitimately? No. They have Myles frickin' Garrett on a good team. It's going to be awesome to see him on a good team. It's going to be scary. I'm going to worry. I'm going to panic. Possibly poop my pants. But yeah, like whenever he sees pass protection in the fourth quarter, oh my, we're cooked, chat. We're cooked. I mean, the Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers, Chargers, Commander. That's just, you just walk it like they're walking through this 5-game stretch. absolutely walking through it. From Cardinals to Cardinals right here, absolutely walking through it. They're walking through the Packers. They're walking through the Chiefs. Like, I don't really like this. Maybe this final game stretch is a little weird with the Seahawks, Bucks, Seahawks. It's a kind of an interesting thing. They put the Seahawks right at the end of the schedule. But if healthy, this team is going. I do not see a game like they're going. I expect them to lose some, like one or two of them, because there are some hard games in there, like the game against like that 3-game. Like, you don't win a 3-game stretch against the Broncos, Eagles, Bills. Like, there's one of those games they're gonna drop, or they're dropping a game against like the Seahawks or the Bucks, or like something weird, like maybe even the Cowboys. But I'm legitimately like they're not going to be walking into any game as the underdog. Not a single one. That's absolutely terrifying. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Like there also could be, there is a legitimate possibility that this is like Randy Moss to the Patriots in 2007. That this is something we see a team possibly be one of the greatest ever, which is super cool. As a Patriots fan, I'm kind of pissed, but right? And you know what? I didn't mention this. They gave up a very good young pass rusher in Jared Verse to the Cleveland Browns. This is honestly the best case scenario for the Cleveland Browns. This is exactly what they wanted. They realized, whoa! Breaking news. Ian Rappaport, 23 minutes ago, the Madden cover athlete is Caleb Williams. That actually kind of looks sick. He's doing like the Jordan pose, like of where he's throwing it. That's tough. Nice. I like that. That's sick. Well earned, well deserved. Madden is a stupid fucking game, but if you just like video games, but no, this is sick. I like it. I always like seeing the Madden covers. Absolutely. Have hired former Chris Greer's personnel executive for league sources. Anyway, any hoozy boozy. Back to that's kind of sick though. That is a cool looking that's a cool looking Madden cover. Nice looking Madden cover, well deserved. Like it. For Caleb, that looks sick. Good for him. Back to the Browns. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about the Cleveland Browns, right? So we see the Browns. They give up Myles Garrett. They get a first-round pick, and they get a fifth, and Jared Verse. Jared Verse, he's not on the same level as Myles Garrett. I mean, I think there's two people. There are not many like on the same level as Myles Garrett. To be frank, he is kind of a Hall of Fame, one of one kind of guy. But they get a very talented very talented pass rusher in Jared Verse. They get a first round pick. They're stacking up the capital to rebuild their franchise. I mean, they might Browns it. They might fuck it up royally. But the reality is that, like, they're going, like they needed to do this. Myles Garrett deserved, like, for all intents and purposes, Myles Garrett kind of deserved it, right? He has been the Bugatti in the trailer park his entire career. And he is somebody, he has mentioned that he would give up his 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards for a Super Bowl. I don't blame him. And he wants to win a championship, and I think they're at the very least going to be in the championship. Like, they are going to be playing in the Super Bowl. That is my prediction. There is no way, just on paper, you know, like, if you just look at it on paper, you have the reigning MVP. You have the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. You have the runner-up to the Offensive Player of the Year, Puka Nacua, if he can get his shit together. You have Devontae Adams. You have a solid offensive line. You traded for Trent McDuffie. You fixed that problem, that specific problem, the one thing that got you last year. The reason the Seahawks beat you twice, right? Because they were able to expose your corners with JSN. You fixed all that. Everything's put back together. And now what? And now you add the best defender in the league. Just slide him in there. Oh yeah, he just broke a 20-year-old NFL record on a dog shit team too. Yeah, you know what? 23 sacks is kind of insane. I don't think people quite realize that. 23 sacks on a team that is dog shit is insane. Because the Browns didn't have it's not like they had the lead in the fourth quarter. It's not like Myles Garrett was playing against it's not like they're dropping back all game. As a matter of fact, they're running the ball most of the time. The other team is trying to kill the clock. And he still broke the sack record. Have you seen this man with his shirt off? Not to be, gay. I mean, it is June. You know what? It's Pride Month. It's Pride Month. I can be a little gay. It's okay. I'm just kidding. But, This actually might be the gayest thing I've ever looked up. But I have to show you. This is not a human being. This is a god. This is a freak. This is a freak. Hold on, let me move myself out of the way. Look at this. Folks, Are you blocking this? You know, it is hilarious. I gotta find the clip. I gotta find the clip of Logan Paul saying that he would kick Myles Garrett's ass, and it is ridiculous. It is. I know Logan Paul does the rage bait, and I feel like that beef he had with Tom Brady felt very corporate and staged. And it's kind of like that's his whole freaking brand, is to be just this rage baity, like, oh, I'm gonna say something that everybody hates, so everybody hates me, but I get attention, right? Legitimately, he said, like, maybe he said it legitimately, maybe he said it in rage bait, but he said he would kick Myles Garrett down. There's no shot. There is not a snowball's chance in hell. There is not. It is more likely that my 5'5" ass grows 10 inches than Logan Paul ever kicking the ass of Myles Garrett. That is absurd. That is ridiculous. I have to reiterate this. Like, that. Oh, no. And now I'm even seeing Adam Schefter saying Rams head coach. We'll show you. Show you. Rams head coach Sean McVay discussed his team's pursuit of Myles Garrett and possible return of Aaron Donald. Hold on. What is this? Hold on. No. Here's Myles Garrett. You'll have to wait and see. Please, Sarah Barshop. Please don't be. Oh. Like I said, if Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald are on the same team, football is over. Teams will quit. Teams will forfeit. Like, if I, like, genuinely, I would be like, if I was like Carson Beck or Jacoby Brissett, I would just fucking retire. The Cardinals have it hard enough. I would be like, yeah, I'm good, guys. See you later. Because their offensive line is dog shit. It would be like, ugh. I'm just glad the Patriots shored up their offensive line, but I don't even think that would I don't know. Genuinely. Myles Garrett had Trent Williams losing sleep. Could you imagine Myles Garrett and it would be insane football, but it would just be unfair. And even I know Aaron Donald is 35 years old. But Aaron Donald, he didn't leave the game, he didn't retire because he was washed. He retired because he was bored. And he was like, I felt fulfilled. And I think here's a clip from the Pat McAfee show. We'll go ahead and watch it.
Aaron Donald. So we reach out to Aaron Donald. Okay? I reach out to Aaron Donald. And I would like to say, according to sources, it for sure got me thinking. Okay? Me and Aaron Donald don't...
It for sure got me thinking. What? It got him thinking, guy.
Text on a regular basis. I'm not acting like me and Aaron Donald are like best friends. Okay, we all saw him push me off the seat down at
Yep.
University of Pittsburgh. We know that.
Pittsburgh guys.
Now, he did grow up Penn Hills, which is directly next to Plum. Obviously, I know Aaron Donald, have massive respect for Aaron Donald. But, this would be...
Look at this man. Look at him working out. What? Oh, let me full screen this shit. Look at this.
not a normal conversation for me just to be texting Aaron Donald. Would that be cool to be able to just text?
Wait. What is the number on that? What is the number on that? That is 140 on one arm. And he's got his legs up! For the love of all things holy, good, and sacred, please don't return. There are children who want to play quarterback when they grow up. And they do not want to see their heroes dead on their television. Dead. That is what we are going to witness, folks. If Myles Garrett and this beast are on the same defensive line, the only thing that could legitimately stop them is God. An act of
Aaron
God.
Donald would like to say yes. That would be a very cool thing. Would be pumped about. Yeah, so that's Aaron Donald. Okay, so we know each other, obviously. It for sure got me thinking. I said, holy shit, can I say that? Okay, that's what I respond with, okay? And then he responds with 35, removed 2 years ago, got to see if that fire can light back up. And then we show clips of him doing it, and I tell him, I say, you're from Penn Hills, brother. Fire is always in there. And then I say, go get the knives back out. Okay, and then there was a laughing response.
That's another thing. Sorry, I just bite my food. For those of you who don't know, not Myles Garrett. Aaron Donald would train with knives. He legitimately would have his trainer have knives in his hands. And he would practice his pass rush against somebody with knives. Freaking knives. Like this is what you see in like fiction, like urban legends. Like this is nuts.
If Aaron Donald comes out of retirement to work alongside Myles Garrett in that entire defensive line, and the Super Bowl is in LA again,
Yeah.
Snead and McVay are going to look like they're the best of all time. They're the greatest of all time, being able to just build these things the way that they're building it, which goes against completely how everybody else is seemingly trying to do it. You know, the draft picks thing became a thing with Les Snead. They end up winning. Frick these picks.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Well, that's what the NFL put out, so.
Fuck these picks, man. Jesus.
Them picks.
Well said.
Frick them.
This is what happens.
I know. We do.
They're still hitting on them too. The picks.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's facts too. It's like they give up all of their. Oh gosh, hold on. Sorry. They give up a ton of their like they give up all like the vast majority of their first. Like I saw a thing they give up in the past 10 years. They have made one first round draft pick that is on the current roster right now. The rest of them are like traded or Jared Verse. And then the other one, of course, is Ty Simpson, who they just drafted. So that is really, it's terrifying. Like, there is, I would fear for any young quarterback. I would fear for any quarterback with a kind of a shitty O-line. I would fear the Rams are going to be great. Like, their defensive line is young and talented to begin with. They just upgraded. Like I said, Aaron Donald, it's not because of lack of talent that he is not playing football today. That is the scariest part. The scariest part is he is not he is not even like I'm losing my train of thought because of it. Like, it's genuinely that scary. Who am I talking about? Chat room, blah blah blah. Need Mother Brown. Oh, hi, Vat. Who is this infirm converse AI viewers stream bot? No. Oh, that's so dumb. I hate it. We're gonna ban you. Ban you real quick. Hi, Bat. Hold on 1 second. I do not want these freaking people trying to. Well, whatever. That's whatever. Oh, it's dead. Hi, Dad. Yeah. Wow. Good gracious. Moving on. I've been glazing Myles Garrett's trade long enough. We have to discuss the NBA Finals. A historic NBA Finals. This is the first time in a good while. I think since 2022 that the NBA Finals have felt big. That the NBA Finals feel like a competitive, real nasty kind of. Whoa, we are ready to go. Because, the Spurs and the Knicks, it feels like the Knicks, it's been since 1999. I was not alive then. Ironically, the Spurs also were in that 1999's finals, but it's interesting because we have Wemby and the youngest playoff roster, I think, in a while with the Spurs. And the Knicks, who are this historic franchise, who are finally out of the shadow and they're coming into their they've had this dominant run, right? like walked through the East. Granted, the East was dog shit, but they walked through it. Absolutely, they just plowed through the East. And there is something to be said about that. And I think a lot of people are just writing in the Spurs as the NBA as the champions right now because of what they did. Because of they beat the Thunder in a very impressive fashion. And it feels like they really have earned it, right? And they have Wembanyama, who is just this alien, truthfully, an extraterrestrial. And I'm going to push back on that a little bit. Because I have been watching I've been doing a little bit of research, doing a little bit of study, a little digging. One of the things I like to say is if you're not smart, listen to smart people. And then go off what they say. It's the story of my life. So I was listening to Jason Timp of Hoops Tonight. Great show. Absolutely great show. And he was talking about how the Spurs, there's a lot of money coming into the Spurs right now. There's a lot of, and I don't support gambling. There's a lot of, I'm not trying to push it onto people. But there is the Spurs matchup. The playoffs are all about matchups. And he was talking about how Wemby, there is a way for the Knicks to guard the Spurs team, legitimately. Like, there is a way that they can go in and legitimately win this series. I think it's going to go 7 games, and I think because Wemby is the best player in the world, I think the Spurs will win it, but there is legitimate concerns. He was talking about how the Spurs guards had a distinct advantage over OKC's, and that was that they were bigger and stronger and more physical. And in the playoffs, that matters. And they were able to bully ball. They're not going to be able to do that with the Knicks. Right? OG Anunoby does not take. He does the bullying. Right? Mikal Bridges does not take bullying. He is a bully. It is going to be, I think, genuinely one of the better finals that I've ever seen because of this matchup, right? And because it's going to be tricky. And we're going to see historical games from Wembanyama and from Jalen Brunson offensively, right? And I want to go with the better player, and I think the better player is Wemby, which is insane because he is 22 years old in his very first finals. But there is some legitimate concerns that they drew up because there was some moments there in their in some of their regular season matchups where they show Karl Anthony Towns being able to draw Wemby away from the paint. And I think that's the whole point of that will be the Knicks' game plan, right? On offense, is to draw Wemby away from the paint, get him away from the basket, and then attack him, and then attack the rest of the defense. Because we've noticed that, right? We've noticed that even with the Thunder at times, right, where they were able to contain the Spurs were able to contain SGA's driving ability, almost just neutralize it because of Wemby, just in the paint. He has this presence in the paint like no other player ever. People drive and turn around when they see him. And that is why you have to be strategic when you're playing him. You have to draw him out to the perimeter, and Karl Anthony Towns is one of the few players who can actually do that. Because Karl Anthony Towns is a legitimate perimeter big and a great passer and a great offensive engine. And if Wemby is if he's manned up with him, you can't just leave him out on the perimeter, right? Granted, I think more of the game plan was to put him on Josh Hart, who is not the best three-point shooter, so that he can stay in the paint. But that makes it you can be tricky with that too, right? You can bring him in, bring Josh Hart in like screen actions and get switches, right? What I said, I go watch Jason Timpf on that Hoops Tonight. He breaks it down a lot better, way better than I just did. He knows a lot more ball. He's a lot better of a ball knower and hooper, but just better at his job in general. But I like it. He genuinely. He's thinking that the Knicks have a legitimate chance, like Knicks in 7 or Knicks in 6, because of like they have Mitchell Robinson, they have Cat, and they have OG Anunoby, and they have given the Spurs trouble, right? They have like legitimate answers to the questions to the ultimate question that is Victor Wembanyama. I'm doing good, man. Yourself? What's up? What's up, Uni? Ask me Warrison. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Wow, yeah. Oh, you know what? Hey, here, hold on. We got, this is from 22 hours ago. 22 hours ago, but still very important. This Corgi predicted the Western Conference Finals perfectly. Every single game on point. So we're going to watch it. We're going to watch and see. This might actually determine who I pick, because I am genuinely up in the air. I'm pretty 50-50 at the moment. I was very hard Spurs, and now I'm very like soft Knicks. But let's see. So through 3 games, we got 2-1 Knicks, and they win game 2 and 3. So okay, yeah, we're going the corgi. The corgi has spoken. The corgi has spoken, folks. Corgi has spoken. And the corgi says Spurs in 7. And that's kind of where I was, honestly, that's kind of where I was leaning at this point, too, anyway, right? Spurs in 7, that's a fair take. So I think there is a legitimate there's some legitimacy to that. That's kind of aura. Steph Castle on Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs path to the 2026 NBA Finals. We have the best player in the world. Hold on. Let's roll the clip.
I just think our consistency and togetherness, it just screamed great habits throughout our locker room, and with our leader being Vic, with how good he is, with how young he is, and for him to not have any ego, I think it just fed great energy throughout our locker room, and especially early to start this year in January, we went on that long run where we won I don't know how many games in a row, but I think just that kind of confidence and that kind of groove coming into the playoffs is what you want, and I think we hit our stride at the right time. So, and yeah, also we have the best player in the world on our team.
That's not a crazy take. I know it's his teammate, so he's obviously going to say it, but it's not a crazy take. Not a crazy take, folks. I am in the firm belief that, yeah, Wemby is the best player in the world. It was SGA briefly. But at this point in time, at 22 years of age, in a legitimately, Wemby is the best player in the world. I know that might be a little out there, a little crazy. I don't think many people disagree with me, though. He's easily the best two-way player in the league. They're probably the best on if we're being real, there's not a two-way player like him. Truth be told, he's a stud defensively. He is a 7'4" alien with a handle and with a jumper. We have never seen shit like that. It's going to be cinema. It is going to be cinema. It is an awesome. What is the word? Rematch. What the title says here on Twitter is the Spurs host the Knicks in the 2026 NBA Finals rematch of the 1999 Classic. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And it feels... Hold on. We'll watch this Jalen Brunson thing before I get to my next thought.
I think we're a focused group. I think we're a hardworking group. I feel like we've been doubted a lot. There's been a lot of noise on the outside that we could obviously talk about, complain about. do something about, but we've always just went back into the gym, worked on our game individually, and then when it came to practice, we were focused. When it came to games, we kept getting better and better. And so I think our mentality is in the right place at the right time. And we just got to stay focused and keep learning. Even today, we can't be satisfied just because we're here. We got to continue to keep learning. I think we're
No, I agree with him. Shoot, come on now. Scene. Oh my gosh, I keep fricking this up. Hold on. One second. There we go. Bing, 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 bing. 1 second, folks. Just give me 1 second. 1, 2, 3. No, I think he's one of the best players in the world, Jalen Brunson himself. Has had an incredible run in these playoffs so far. Legitimately deserves all of the praise and all of the admiration the wild ass Knicks fans give him. And granted, if the Knicks win the finals, New York City is being razed to the ground. I don't know what, if they lose, they probably are still going to burn the city down, but I think if they win, there will be nothing left. We will literally see just what was New York City. People will be fleeing to New Jersey of all places. And wow, yeah, it's going to be wild. It is going to be absolutely wild. But yeah, we got game 1, folks. Game 1. Game 1 here tonight at what time? I don't even remember what time it is. Forgive me. NBA Finals. Tonight at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here. So, that is wild, man. I'm excited. I am excited. This is genuinely going to be, it's interesting, right? Because you see this game 1, but game 1 is very interesting because the Spurs are coming off this grueling 7-game series with the Thunder that they had to work super hard to win, right? And the Knicks, on the other hand, coming off of 2 sweeps. They've been rested. It is literally they have had the Knicks have had legitimately the most rest they could have, and the Spurs have had the least. Granted, it is in in San Antonio for the first 2 games, so they can rest up, and they have absolutely rested up, and they have been they are ready to go. But it's going to be interesting because we will see the rest versus rust theory in practice right now, right? We are going to see shut up, Siri. We are going to see 2 teams, one with an incredible amount of rest, one with less rest, but it's going to be an interesting an interesting like thought experiment. You think about it, it's like, oh, are the Spurs going to be gassed because they just came off the 7-game series, or and like the Knicks come out and just sock them in the teeth, or are the Knicks a little complacent because there is a legitimate argument for the Knicks right now that they really haven't played anyone, right? They beat the 7th seed Hawks, the 6th seed, the 6th seed Hawks, the 7th seed Sixers, and the 4 seed Cavs. They swept them. I know they don't pick their opponents. It's not like they were like, oh yeah, we want the easiest path imaginable. No. But we have to take that into consideration, right? The Spurs, of course, yeah, they blew through Portland, but they also had to play the T-Wolves, who are a legitimate team with legitimate players like Anthony frickin' Edwards. And they had that duel with the Thunder, this like epic battle that honestly was one of my favorite basketball viewing experiences of my life. And I think honestly it was because I hated the Thunder. Truly. I felt myself rooting for the Spurs. Not because I'm a Spurs fan or a Spurs homer. It was just like, wow, like I've never had a team there's never been a team I've seen that I've hated so much, like so quickly, right? It was just their brand of basketball was just disgusting, and I felt like I was rooting for the Spurs. You want to see, and you see Wemby, and you want to see greatness, right? You see all this hype, you see all these internet clips, you see him as a teenager, and you see him in France, and it's like, wow, this guy is, this guy is insane. Like like my brother and I were talking about it. Shout out my brother Thomas. We were talking about it, and it's like we are going to become numb at some point to the insanity that we see from Victor Wembanyama, to the legitimate insanity that is him. Because they're not supposed to be 7-6 and do that and hit a step back 3. Hell, even bring the ball down the floor. Like, hello? That is insane. Insane. I'm flabbergasted, honestly, by what he's done at such a young age. And we saw the only other, like, young guy at the age of 22. Granted, I think Wemby's team is much better, but his team is still young and inexperienced and has, like, this chip on their shoulder, right? That there is a possibility, like, this is like LeBron-esque. It's like LeBron in 2007. Had a very signature game in the Eastern Conference Finals in the West, right? 25 straight points, double overtime. in a double overtime win, right? We saw that very similar game from Wemby in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, where he had 44 and 22, which is actually insane. And I don't know. I don't. There is a legitimate argument that if he is healthy for 10 years, for 10 straight seasons, if he is just able to play basketball for that long, he might be the best player of all time. And that is coming from somebody who absolutely loves LeBron James. I am a Liglazer, a Bron-sexual, a LeBron truther, a defender of him in comment sections full of bots and unks. But if there is anything, if there's anything that matches that, it is Victor Wembanyama at 22 years old. It's insane. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. We are in for an absolute treat with these finals. An absolute treat. Let's see this Kevin Garnett clip, see what he's saying about Wemby here. Right here.
Bullshit. He's crying in motherfucking Western Conference Finals. That was too emotional for that to be. That was too emotional for me.
Oh, what?
What? Okay, that's ridiculous. I think I don't love this tape. We'll listen to it out, but I don't love it.
Man. He got 4 more games to try to get. You got to go through the finals now. Nah, you still got to be even killed right here. And that trophy, that ain't what we. That's cool. Yeah, we beat them. Cool. But I got a whole nother sight in this up here.
I understand where he's coming from, but there is a legitimate. I understand where KG is coming from, where he's saying, "Oh yeah, like there is something more important that you need to focus on." But I think Wemby being emotional here and crying and showing his emotions, I don't think that's a negative. I really don't. I don't like there is a stigma around men that you don't cry. You don't cry in public. You don't cry like that. That's not manly. Man up, right? Come on now, man up. And there's a precedent in our society. And he did just accomplish something very hard. And he is 22 years old. And he has shown that he is an emotional person. He is very in touch with his emotions. He understands himself. He's kind of expressed that. And just to say, oh, it's not important. But we'll finish the clip.
It's gonna take my energy to run up this hill. I can't be you. Nah. That's how bad they wanted to beat OKC. You know what I'm saying? But man, this right here, nah. And then to me, this is the Knicks' only window I see. They got to get it right now. I'm talking about, you got no Boston on here, you got no OKC, you got to go now. You got to go now.
So the Knicks are on an 11-game win streak right now, and they have the best point differential ever.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, I understand where KG is coming from. where it is you don't cry until you win the big one. You don't cry until, like, you're not allowed to show emotion. You got to be even keel, locked in, right? Bullshit. Bullshit. Cry. You earned it. Crying is not just reserved for the finals. Having strong emotions is not reserved for the finals. It's not reserved for, oh, because you gotta be this or that or whatever. It's ridiculous, honestly. But I understand where he's coming from, though. That it's like you gotta stay even keel and blah blah blah. But like, it's an old mindset.
In the playoffs, so they're smashing teams.
No, they are, but I don't want to give fools gold.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna be really honest. The Knicks ain't seen this type of defense right here. They
Yeah, no, actually, that is true. That is a fact point.
ain't
Well,
seen
listen.
this San Antonio,
Right.
And they ain't seen this type of Wemby. I gotta take my glasses off.
This was a different-
This is a different Wemby, goddammit.
From 2 months ago.
This is
different.
this is a different Wemby.
First playoff
Listen.
appearance for Wemby.
Listen, bro. Are you watching how Castle, Vassell, how all the guards are guarding?
Yeah.
The guards are. They got somebody for Brunson. Cassell, bro. He the red-nosed pit. He bullet. He bullet. Run
Vassell.
around the neighborhood like.
Oh yeah, actually, that's a great point. Great point, because there was a play in I think was it game 6? Yeah, I think it was in game 6, where I could be mistaken, but Devin Vassell on the Spurs, guard. I think he's a guard or forward. I'm not quite sure, but he is defending a fast break against SGA and Alex Caruso. It's 2-on-1, right? And so SGA has the ball. He forces the miss on SGA. He contests, gets SGA to throw it hard off the rim, right? Alex Caruso is trailing and goes to clean up the play and dunk it, and he comes back and blocks Alex Caruso and then gets it and turns the ball the other way. That was incredible. If there wasn't the Luke Cornett block, that would have been like the most insane defensive play. Of course he blocked Chet and then talked shit to him. It was in game 6. Yeah, it was game 6. He's had some great defensive series, but there is an issue that I want to bring up that Jason Timpf was saying that this is the guy I listen to, so I kind of go off of what he says, because I've played basketball, but I'm not like that. I'm not quite that ball knowy yet. I'm still a youth. Is that there is the thing that they were able to do with SGA is really make him play left-handed, and what I mean by that is they were able to take away something he's very good at, and that is driving to the basket. And he didn't shoot threes, and he was really just they turned him into a one-trick pony, where it's like you have to where they forced him to. They said, okay, you are going to have to make all of these tough mid-range shots. And if you make a bunch of them and beat the crap out of us, we'll live with that. We'll double you and force you to be a distributor, force you to make a decision, force somebody else like Alex Caruso to hit threes. In game 1, Alex Caruso was fiery hot. Game 1 through 3, he was insane. But there's a reason Alex Caruso is a bench player. It's because he wasn't as good throughout the series. Right? Will they do the same thing to Jalen Brunson? I think Jalen Brunson at this moment right now is playing better than SGA was against the Thunder. Against the Spurs, rather. And there is a point where you have Jalen Brunson shooting threes, right, going crazy, And like that was something that SGA wouldn't do. And I watched all of the Western Conference Finals. And I do remember distinctly SGA did not shoot that many threes. And it was kind of prominent. His teammates shot a ton of threes. Jared McCain, like I said, Alex Caruso, Jay Will even shot a bunch of threes. He hit a bunch of threes in I think game 3. So there was some like they were shooting the ball, but he wasn't just like stepping into a shot. Jalen Brunson, on the other hand, Jalen Brunson will absolutely shoot the shit out of the rock. Step into a 3, just let it loose. He can also do he can also make tough mid-range shots. He can also get to the basket. Granted, Wemby takes a lot away when it comes to the basket, when it comes to driving into the paint. But I think a smart coach like Mike Brown can scheme ways to get him away from the basket. Get it like kind of use like Jalen Brunson as a magnet and draw Wemby away from the basket, and then let like Cat or Josh Hart or OG Anunoby or somebody cut into the paint and like possibly get an easy dunk or an easy layup. What you have to do is you have to draw him away, right? I wish I had a whiteboard right now because actually I might have one now that I think about it. Anyway, you have to draw him away, right? You have to get him away from the paint, and then you can attack. And I talked about this before, but yeah, that's when you can attack.
Like, oh shit, they go bullet. Like this ain't. I don't. So I'm gonna say this to P because he'll understand this. I don't want to call this fool's goal, but man, them Philly and Cleveland.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
They
Right?
not this right here. Nobody's quitting nothing. Nigga, nobody's quitting nothing in this series.
I love Kevin Garnett. He's like, look at his eyes, bro. He's just like.
Hear me? Right. Boy, San Antonio is that little kid who ready to fight and his eyes is watered. And Lord, you ever get into it with the nigga who he mad so much that he man. I don't think the Knicks have seen this Tasmanian devil.
Right.
I haven't seen a team do that to OKC. Bro, I ain't seen nobody do that to OKC. I know they was hurt, but I ain't seen nobody do that to OKC.
They beat him 8 times.
Man, come on, man.
8 times.
Man, and he said,
They
hey,
got to
man,
get better.
You know what he said?
Yeah, they probably got to get better.
You know what he said?
Yeah.
You know what he said? We're better than them. He said that. He didn't think it. He got on the mic. Hey, yeah, OKC? He didn't want to answer that question. He was like, what? Oh, yeah, we beat them 4 times and 3 times. He was looking for the next question. You hear what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if the league go through some.
Dude, I love KG. He's hilarious.